Hi everyone, it's your PTE teacher here, and today we're going to look at one of the reading tasks, the one called fill in blanks. Now, there are two tasks where we fill in blanks. This one is the reading one. The other one is called reading and writing fill in blanks. So I don't want you to get confused between the two because I have different strategies for each task. So this is the one where you have a paragraph with a number of blanks in it, and there's just one word going in that space. And you have to choose from a drop-down menu, and there are too many options to choose from. So how are we going to tackle this task? Because it can be very confusing. My advice to everyone is, as soon as you start this task, your paragraph is there, the boxes are there to put the words in. Don't look at the drop-down menu. Okay, do not look at the answer options first. That is the last thing you're going to do. You're going to do a lot of reading first. So don't be tempted to go there. So what you have to do is start at the beginning of the paragraph, read through the sentences to try and make sense of what the topic is in the paragraph. And when you arrive at one of those boxes where you have the drop-down menu, don't click, remember, you're going to try and guess what the missing word might be. And there are a number of ways of trying to do that, and we're going to look at that in a practice example shortly. So don't be tempted. Don't go for that drop-down menu. Just guess what the missing word might be. And then once you've guessed what that word might be, you want to make a note of it on your erasable notepad. Once you've gone through the whole paragraph and you've got however many answers it is, 3, 4, 5 answers that need to be filled in, you have your 4 or 5 answers written down on your notepad, then you can go back and start looking at the answers offered in the drop-down menu and choose the best one that matches the ideas that you've written down. Hi, it's your PTE teacher here. If you've been enjoying the videos that I've been making for you, please do me a favor. Could you subscribe to my channel? It helps to promote my channel and promote me, but it also helps other candidates just like yourselves who are trying to prepare for this difficult exam and gives them access to lots of strategies and tips for all parts of the exam. Thank you. So let's now practice the reading fill-in blanks. And it's a little bit different on the screen here from how it will look in your PTE exam. That's because I'm working from a test booklet. But where we've got those boxes in the paragraph, that's where your drop-down menu would be, and you select the answer from that box. So we don't want to do that when we start out with this task. We want to read the paragraph, make sense of it, and make a note on our erasable notepad, suggestions to put in those boxes. So let's have a go. Reading from number 3, first of all, migration. So we know we're talking about migration here. Migration could be described as the well-defined journey animals make to a familiar something at specific seasons or times of the year. So notice that we've got a familiar, we've got we've got an adjective, which means we're looking for a noun to go in that space. Now, what kind of noun do we think that's going to be? Remember, a noun is an animal, a place, a thing, or a person. And we're talking about animals making a journey to a familiar at specific seasons. The first word that comes into my head for that particular space is the word place. Yeah, they're going to a different place when they migrate. That may or may not be the answer, but at least I've got a good guess in my head now as to what it could be, and that's going to help me when I look at the suggested answers. But I'm not doing that, I'm moving on. So on to the second sentence. All species that migrate do so for a common something in order to survive. Okay, we've got that same pattern again, common being the adjective, which means we need a noun in there. So why do species migrate? It's explaining it here. All species migrate, do so for a common reason. That's the first word that comes into my head for that one. It's explaining the reason why they do it. They do it to survive. Okay, migration allows them to spend their life in more than one area, and thus something problems that can occur in one habitat, such as lack of food, shelter, or exposure to harsh weather. Okay, migration allows them to spend their life in more than one area, and thus something problems. Problems, we've got a plural noun here, and we've got a thus before it. So I need, I think, a verb in that space to work with the word problems. If animals stay in one habitat, in one place, then they're going to have some problems with lack of food, lack of shelter. So could I say stop, to stop the problems that can occur in one habitat? Okay, those are my ideas. So on my erasable notepad, I'd have written place, reason, stop. If I can't think of an idea, I give up. Yeah, I do the best I can, and then I have to move on. So now that I've got my suggested answers in there, you would click on each space to get your drop-down menu of suggested answers. So I'm going to now reveal them here, and let's take a look at what we have. So I was quite happy with my answer for number one place. In fact, that was I felt most confident about that answer. So I'm going to start with number one. Check my drop-down menu, and could be position, but position is not quite the right word to mean place. And looking at all the other options, we've got destination. It's the best destination. They're moving from one place to another. So destination is the answer that would actually be selected for that space. Okay, we've got rid of it. Now, moving on to the second space, I said there was a common reason to survive. Again, looking at my different options I've got there, which one means reason or close enough, it's going to be purpose. So I've now chosen my second answer. So you can see I'm reducing the number of options available, which means when I get to number three, it's getting even easier. Because I only now have 4 words to choose from, assuming the others were correct. Actually, this one is easier than the other two because it is a verb that I need. And we don't have lots of verbs in that list there. In fact, we only have one, and it's avoid. And avoid has a similar meaning to stop. You can avoid problems. I've done my answer. All right, let's try it again. Let's do it with the next one. Same approach. Read through. Think of an answer, move on to the next one. Multinational companies. Great, there's our topic for the paragraph. Multinational companies are often criticized for a number of reasons, but we cannot deny their impact. Okay, a couple of things happening here. We've got, in the first part of that sentence, we've got a negative idea with a but, which means the next part of the sentence must have a positive idea, because we've got the negative but positive. However, this is a little tricky because we've also got a negative structure happening in there. So we've got like a double negative possibly happening there. But we know we've got to be expressing a positive idea in this part of the sentence. And we've got there followed by something, followed by a noun. So into that space, we're going to have an adjective to describe the kind of impact it's having. Remember, I said this has got to be a positive meaning part of the sentence. We cannot deny their, let's say, positive, their positive impact. All right, moving on. Employment opportunities are generated for locals in the overseas country. When multinational companies set up manufacturing plants, there is often an increased something of products for local consumers, which profits the local economy. Okay, we've got an increased being used as an adjective there. This has to be a noun of noun. Noun of noun is noun of products for local consumers. So a noun of noun structure is quite common in English. Nothing of great value coming to me at the moment, so I'm just going to go for the word number. A number of products. We're going to have an increased number of products. They're making more products for the local economy. Okay. Training is also sometimes provided in the use of technology. Moreover, the experience and knowledge that the employees something strengthens their skills and overall employability. The experience and knowledge that the employees get strengthens their skills and overall employability. So we've got a verb going on there. Employees get. So very simple words I've chosen there. I'm not trying to be advanced about this. I'm just trying to get a simple understanding of what it is that's missing in that space. So let's go to the drop-down menu, as I call it here. And the first one was going to be an adjective, a positive adjective to match with impact. We've got the positive word there. We've got gain, no purchase, negative. We've got, well, that's another adjective, but that's not going to work because that's the wrong meaning. And benefit. Positive is the answer I'm going to go for. They have a positive impact. So that time I actually managed to choose the correct word. All right, we're looking for a noun in the second space. And I said number, but it's a something of products, an increased something of products. Gain is a verb, which I've now realized is the answer to number 3 because it's the only verb that I've got there. So I'm going to write that answer in. So you can actually jump around with these and choose the answer, the easiest answer first, again, reducing the number of options available to you. Back to number 2, looking for a noun. We've got several nouns there, or could be adjectives and verbs as well. This is to go with products. I think availability would be the answer I would choose there. Increased availability of products. All right, so that was quite slow, purposefully going quite slow to show you the thinking that goes on when I answer these questions. So all of those little ideas that I had, I'd be noting down on my erasable notepad, and then I go to the answer options I've been given and choose the answer I want to put in. If I'm not sure what number 1 is, then I'll jump straight over to number 2 and get those answers in, and number 3 and number 4, and then go back to number 1 to reduce the number of options I've got and make the task easier to guess.